Whether you have pain in your back or joints, surgery may not be the answer. Instead of the dangers involved in cutting out tissue, consider healing and rejuvenating the area with stem cells, platelet-rich plasma, or prolotherapy. The treatments that are available to professional athletes are now available for you. Watch the videos at jointrehab.com or call the Darrow Wellness Institute at 800-300-9300. 800-300-9300. That's 800-300-9300.
Welcome back to Living Pain-Free with Dr. Marc Darrow. We're taking your calls right here, right now at 866-870-5752 right here in the studio. And time's flying by, Dr. Darrow. Did you want to add anything before we go back to John?
Sure. I just want to give out the phone number again to people just scrolling their dial as they're driving or whatever. Give me a call. I'd love to talk to you about your musculoskeletal pain, why you do not generally need to get a surgery to fix it, why that's not the best idea today, and I will send you a free book called Stem Cell and Platelet Therapy, Regenerate, Don't Operate. I'll even pay the postage. And in this book it tells you with all the research, 250 some studies, why regenerative medicine of platelets and stem cells is an awful lot healthier and easier, simpler, and better than doing a surgery. And that's been what I call the white horse that I've ridden for the last 25 years since my residency at UCLA. I was in training to be a surgeon until I had a shoulder surgery that totally jacked my shoulder and taught me that surgery, even though I loved doing it, was not something I ever wanted to have on my own body again. And then I learned about regenerative medicine. I injected my own shoulder, and voila, the next morning it was healed. Doesn't always happen like that. I've had other parts of my body that have taken more time. My wrist was 50% better when I injected it, 50% better overnight, and then it took a few more injections to get it 100%. I will go out and play golf later today. My wrist is good. My shoulder is good. I did my knees with stem cells, my elbows, and I've had other people do my neck and my back because I can't reach back there. So we're going back to John, and John, thank you for staying with us, John. And Ty, thank you for waiting. We're going to get to you in a sec. John had an MCL tear, and he was surfing in Costa Rica. There was a log that hit him, and I'm a surf dude too, man. I know what it's like. It's dangerous out there. I've been hurt so many times, and his doctor said it should heal on its own. My experience with my knee and literally thousands of other people's knees with medial collateral ligament tears is they don't completely always heal on their own. How do I know? Because they say there's pain in that area in the middle part of the knee, and I look with my ultrasound inside and I see fluid there. That means it didn't heal. And we can sometimes aspirate that fluid out, and sometimes we can just put some platelets or stem cells in it, which will augment the healing process. So John, there is good hope for getting your knee 100%. And if you want to call the office to get an appointment, that's 800-300-9300. John, do you have other questions?
No, that's been really helpful. I'm going to give your office a call and see if I can do something.
You're going to love my office because I've got these giant photographs of surfers on giant waves all over the office.
Oh, nice.
I had the good fortune of going to pre-med and medical school in Hawaii. And I lived right on the beach. I'd been a lawyer 15 years, so I had a little money in my pocket, and I lived on the beach. And I never really thought I was going to be a doctor. I was doing medical school as a gentleman, you might say. And then it turned out I did actually get into being a doctor. I just wanted to learn medicine. But I'm a curious guy. And then eventually, I did my residency at UCLA and started doing regenerative medicine right away instead of surgery, which I loved. And it's been working on my body all these years, and there's a very high probability it's going to work on your body. Okay?
Well, good.
God bless you, man.
I'm looking forward to calling your office.
So, Ty, you got a knee that bothers you. Is that true?
Yes, good morning, doctor. No, it's my wife's knee.
Okay.
And she has had, she's seen a couple of orthopedic doctors.
Okay.
And one doctor injected her knee with some cortisone. I'll mention that in a minute. But
sure.
She's really frustrated. They tell her that she has bone on bone, and she is from situations with her friends that have had to go through knee replacements. She's frankly, she's not excited about it and very concerned. She's an active woman, an avid swimmer, and now it's at the point where even when she swims, her knee is painful. I would think, doctor, it might be, I don't know if it's chronic pain, but it's an unfortunate situation. We live in a house that has stairs, and going down the stairs is very painful for her.
Okay.
So we're kind of, then we do listen to your show.
Right,
I'm
thank
an
you.
870 listener, and I thought this morning, because I am frustrated trying to find out help for her, I thought I would give you a call. I have the number for your office, but I thought I would call in addition.
Well, I'm so glad you did.
What we could do for her, I don't know.
Sure. Well, number one, don't let her get another cortisone shot, because guess what that does to the cartilage?
And also, when this doctor that did give, I'm not mentioning any names, but she got a cortisone shot from this facility, and they didn't even do an ultrasound. He just, she says they had this needle, and they put it in the front of her knee, and that was about a year ago. And believe it or not, that's still causing her discomfort.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. No knee should be injected without an ultrasound. No hip, no shoulder.
That's what I've heard from your shows, over the past several months.
Yeah, how does that doctor know that solution even went into the joint? They don't. And that's not the best place to inject. That's old school. That's dinosaurs that do that. And I'm not putting doctors down. I love doctors. I just don't like a lot of what they do. And, look, a lot of people need orthopedic surgery. You break a bone, God bless the surgeons, right? If they've got to go in and operate. But these other surgeries shouldn't be done. These meniscal tears, all these other things, rotator cuff tears in the shoulders, neck pain, back pain, all these things, they shouldn't be operated on unless it's an emergency of some sort, which it rarely ever is. These are usually elective surgeries that should never have been done in the first place. And the whole idea, what I'd like you to do, Ty, is go to the internet and look up the two words, cortisone and cartilage. Put those together, and you see what it says. Okay. Don't listen to me. Don't believe me. I always tell people, don't believe me. Go look this stuff up, I'm telling you. That cortisone is a steroid that dissolves away the cartilage and causes arthritis. And they say, the doctors say, well, you can do it 3 times a year. Well, yeah, you can do it 100 times a year too. But doing it once is not good. And it doesn't do anything.
Bone on bone, is that curable?
No, because if she's getting around, it's not bone on bone. That's another story that's made up. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm very aggravated right now hearing this story. I'm sorry, that's just who I am. I don't like the way traditional medicine. By the way, the term traditional medicine is not really traditional. The old traditional medicine is natural medicine, which the traditional medicine doctors can't stand because it's healthy. And it's not what they do. They call it alternative medicine. No, they're doing alternative medicine using medication and knives. We don't do that. We do natural things. And putting cells into the body, putting your cells into the body, platelet stem cells, is one of the most natural healing things that there is. And it works. It doesn't work on everybody for a lot of reasons. And the reasons that it doesn't work on a lot of people is because they're too active. I tell them, let it heal after a treatment, and they won't do it. Or they're taking anti-inflammatories like ibuprofen, which blocks the healing process. or they're just basically not getting enough treatment. This is not a magical cure where all of a sudden you get a shot and you fly to heaven. Do you understand? This is something that takes work. We know that it grows tissue. Biopsies have been done to show that it grows tissue. But how soon will you heal? Who knows? It's different with everybody. Everybody pushes me. They want to pin me on the wall and say, how soon will I heal?
Sure.
I don't know.
Yes.
You could be healed and then fall down and hurt yourself again and then tell me it didn't work. And believe me, I've had that happen. The other reason people don't heal... Let me get no, it's no problem. You're cool, Ty. The other reason people don't heal is because they go to a doctor or a nurse who doesn't even know what they're doing, who doesn't do this all day long. This is a treatment where you need to go to a doctor who does it all day long, so they know every possible thing that can happen. And then, like we talked about, your wife had a cortisone shot in her knee in the front of the knee, which we call the arthroscopic port, where they poke a camera in there to look inside when they're operating. But that's not a good way to inject a knee, because when you put a needle in there, you don't even know if it's going into the joint capsule. With an ultrasound, which is done above the knee bone, above that joint, I do it it's about 2 or 3 inches above the joint. I can see into the joint capsule. It's painless. But if you don't have an ultrasound, you're not going to get there. And back in the day, before we used ultrasounds, all the doctors, when we'd get together for national meetings, would go, how come hips don't heal? Everything else seems to heal. Why not hips? Then we found out once we had the ultrasounds, we weren't putting the needle in the right spot into the joint, because that's a teeny little spot to get into. All of a sudden, hips started healing. So,
well, I'm just we're going to call your office.
All right, I'm going to give out the number again for those who don't have it. It's 800-300-9300 to the office, and my staff will take care of you right away. If they're too busy on the phone right now, just leave your number. They'll call you right back. And Ruben, we're going to get to you in a second. But you can always call the show right now to get me live and hear it from the horse's mouth, as they say. 866-870-5752. Talk to me now. 866-870-5752. Ty, do you have any other questions about yourself or friends or anybody with surgery on the horizon? Any pain they have in the body?
We lost Ty, so we can go to Ruben. And
All
Ty
right.
is welcome to call back at 866-870-5752.
That's 870-5752.
Yes.
Ruben.
866-870-5752.
Hey.
Ruben, you're the man. Your back bothers you. For how long?
No, Doc, let me tell you something while I'm calling regarding my back. I'm just calling, man. I just want to thank you, man, seriously. I went to see you about a year and a half ago. I just retired from UPS, had about 33 years there, man. I had to retire because of my back. So every month, man, my back would go out. Something just kept going out. I got the MRI. They said it was, degenerative disc and stuff. So my son came up to me, told me, hey, man, go see this guy. He does the most, the PRP treatment, new treatment. So I went to see you, Doc. I'm not going to lie to you. It was over a year and a half ago. And I got your book. I came home and read that book. That book was so informing. It started hitting me. Yeah, maybe it is a ligament. Maybe it's not the disc. I don't know. So make a long story short, Doc, I was pretty honest because I was kind of scared, because of needles and stuff. I saw that video, man. Ooh, looked kind of scary. But you know what, man? My back kept going out, so I finally went to see you. Man, is it a coincidence? Who knows? But all I can say, it had to be those shots, man. I got 2 sessions of the PRP. And my back hasn't went out since, man. So
God bless you.
Thank you,
That's amazing. I love it. Well, I have the same story as yours. I'm a golfer and gymnast, all this kind of stuff. I'm crazy. And so my back went out too. And when I was a resident at UCLA, one of the hospitals I worked at was Rancho Los Amigos down in Downey.
Oh, yeah, in Downey.
And I was limping, holding on to the wall to go see my patients. because I had such terrible low back pain and sciatica down my left leg that, believe it or not, I was thinking about getting surgery. I knew I shouldn't do it, but I was like, oh my God, I just can't stand the pain. And then one of my buddies injected my low back. I woke up the next morning. My back was fine. And I'm glad it happened to you too.
Well,
so,
yeah, well,
Ruben, thanks so much.
To you. That was happening to me once a month. And I finally said, you know, after reading that book, and my son was butchering me. Man, what are you waiting for, man?
God bless your son too.
And
man, well, thank you so much for calling in. We want to get to Vicky and Gary next, but Ruben, thank you so much. So, Vicky, I want to give out Vicky just disappeared.
Yeah, that was strange. Okay.
That was. She didn't like her name being said on the radio.
Let's give the number so she can call us back.
Vicky, call me back. Come on. 866-870-5752. 866-870-5752. Vicky, we're going to send you a free copy of my book anyway, Stem Cell and Platelet Therapy, Regenerate, Don't Operate. We haven't mentioned on this show, but the foreword is written by Suzanne Summers, whose I have worked on, and I've worked on her family, and our son Bruce, and her granddaughters, and blah, blah, blah. So she's a great proponent, and she wrote a chapter about me in her own book recently. And thank you, Suzanne Summers. We do love you. Gary, you got a knee too. Wow, we got a lot of knee.
Hi, Dr. Darrow. How you doing?
I'm living it up, man. How about you?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, but you can keep screaming. We love that. What's up?
Oh, well, I'm driving. You treated me about 18 months ago, and I was very pleased, and you're going to get me again, but that's not what I'm calling you about. I got a new patient for you through workers' comp.
Okay.
The lady went to an AME, and the AME heard of you, and he's authorized the insurance company to go ahead and do the PRP platelets on her. Her name is Sylvia.
Okay. Well, that's pretty amazing because insurance doesn't usually like the kind of work. Yeah. I'll be looking for her. Thank you so much. Appreciate referrals.
I just want to give a testament to the listeners out there that as soon as the insurance company pays me the money they owe me, I'm coming back to you too.
Well, good luck on that one, man. They're not in business to pay money.
Oh no,
they're in business to collect money.
Workers' comp with a findings and award for future medical.
Oh well, they'll take care of it then. They'll pay for my work. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're going to court in about 6 months on that issue.
Well, hopefully you don't have to go to court and they'll just buckle under like they usually do and pay you off.
I hope so, because they owe me about $40,000 altogether.
Well, they're good at owing money. That's what they do. Do you know how insurance companies, you know how they make money? They take in the premiums.
Oh, yeah. They're collecting the interest, not me.
Well, it's not just interest, but they invest it. And then the longer they can invest it for, the more money they make. And then finally, they'll pay you off after they made the money. Kind of not fun to me, but that's what they do. Gary, I'm going to get to Charles here, who's calling in.
Thank you, Gary, for your call.
Gary, God bless you, and thanks for the referral. Referrals are the most important thing in my business.
Absolutely.
So Charles, another knee. My God, no one's calling in with necks or backs or toes or fingers or elbows, which I treat also. But anyway, tell me about your knees, Charles. What's up?
I'm 84, and my knees are pretty painful to walk, but I do enjoy activities, and I want to continue to work. I'm a little concerned when you remove the stem cells, is there any chance of having blood clot or a serious chance or any damage to the body? Because I'm worried about being around the spine or where you get the stem cells and injecting it in my knees. I don't want to become invalid or have any real difficulties because I can withstand what's going on.
Sure. You know, I tell all my patients this. It sounds ridiculous, but this is the truth. If you can stay away from doctors, stay away from doctors. That's number one. Okay? The first law of medicine is do no harm. So then they say to me, stay away from you too? And I go, I've never really had a problem in 25 years, and I inject all day long, but it is possible. So to be very honest with you, something could happen, yes. Has it ever happened? No.
Well, that's a very good answer. Yes.
It is. And, I had, this is a great story. I had a cattle rancher from Texas fly in his own airplane to get his knees treated many years ago. And I have a consent form that has big letters on it, not like the ones you see at other doctors' offices that you can't even read. It's so small. And the reason I do that is because I want to be as honest with people as I can. And they asked me, does this stuff ever happen? So anyway, this cattle rancher comes in. He had the big belt buckle, the metal belt buckle, big cowboy boots, tall, thick guy. And he goes, I'm not signing that. That looks terrible. And I said, well, then don't sign it. I'm not going to take care of you. It's just the way it is. I need a consent form so you know the possibilities. And then a light went off in his head, and he said, any of these things ever happen to you? And I go, nope. And he goes, well, then, God damn it, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
So, anything can always happen. But luckily, nothing's ever happened. These injections are very simple to do, and they're just injections. It's not like cutting the body open and having risks of infection and immediate arthritis after surgery when tissue's taken out. I see immediate arthritis all the time from surgeries.
Yeah,
so,
I did want to do
so the answer to your question, Charles, is I've never had anything bad happen. It could happen, but I don't think anything bad's going to happen to you.
Okay. Blood clots is what I worry about.
No, I've never had a blood clot. Nope. But I have had a guy who died from a knee replacement from a blood clot from his knee that went up into his brain and killed him.
Mm-hmm. Well, so many of my neighbors have had knee surgery and hips, and it's been very unsuccessful. They passed away later on with lots of blood clots and a lot of suffering. So
well, I to be honest, I see a lot of patients come in after surgeries that failed, where they've had blood clots and other problems. So the question really should be, should you ever get a surgery? And in my book, if it's elective, the answer is no. Because we have something now called regenerative medicine. We can grow back the tissue and heal that way.
Well, you've answered my questions very nicely, and I do appreciate it, and we'll be seeing each other.
All right. God bless you, Charles. I appreciate that.
Thank you. And
Thanks for your call.
So we got a couple more minutes left. If you want to call in, the number to the studio where you can talk to me live right now is 866-870-5752. I'd love to hear from you. If you miss me here, you can call the office at 800-300-9300. So this is unusual. End of the show, and we got a few more minutes left. And I'd love to hear from you. Also, you can go to my website and you can email me from there. And that is www.lastemcells.com. We have another caller coming in right now. Oh, now they're lining up.
You could mention what you do in the office besides this.
Yeah, I do the musculoskeletal work, but also we can do hair on the top of the head if you're thinning out. We do a bunch of that. And if you want your face to look pretty, we do the vampire facelift, where we inject platelets or stem cells into the face and regrow the collagen there and make you look pretty. And that works for men and women. So you'd think it would just be something women do, but I'd say it's about 50-50 with men and women. So Stephanie, you've got a shoulder problem. This is Dr. Marc Darrow. How long has it bothered you for?
Oh, this is not my problem, actually. It's a coworker's problem, and she's a nurse, and I
want you to go to the website and email me this because we're going to the end of the show. It's www.lastemcells.com, or call the office and get the information. That's 800-300-9300. God bless you all. Thank you. I love you all. Nita, you're amazing. Suzette, Alex, we appreciate you.
Thank you, everybody. I'm Nita Valens. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to Living Pain Free with Dr. Marc Darrow. Now that you've heard Dr. Darrow, you can schedule an appointment to talk with him in person by calling his office anytime at 800-300-9300. That's 800-300-9300. Or go online to lastemcells.com. Again, the website is lastemcells.com. Living Pain-Free with Dr. Marc Darrow is heard Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. and Sundays at 5 p.m. right here at AM 870 The Answer. Remember, to take the first step toward a pain-free life, call to schedule an appointment at 800-300-9300. That's 800-300-9300. Live long and pain-free. And thanks for joining us today.